Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, Kerbals and other green-related objects, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with Jonathan. So, what are we doing today? We're getting 9 Kerbals who've been stranded around or on Duna or its moon back home. That is Kerman playing with the low gravity on Duna. And as you might be able to tell, this is a post-commentary. Yes, it is. Yes, no, yes, it is. So I'm doing a post-commentary because at the time I didn't think these would work. Anyways, we're about to... Oh, careful now. We're about to see these 3 lift off from the surface of Duna. 3, 2, 1, launch. And now we have the other 3 Kerbals that were on the surface around Duna, taking off from Duna's own hike. Yeah. It's Chadberry, Bill, and Milburn. Now what we're seeing is Eric, this is the mothership, the Stella. This is Eric Kerman undocking. His mission is to dock with the lander that has Kerbals, Wilming, I think it is, and Thumgar. They're going to dock together, and then those 2 landers are going to go back to the Kerbal homeworld. That's the plan anyways. Yeah, here they are. They're very close. I practiced this with 2 landers in orbit of the Kerbal homeworld, whose name currently really escapes me. It's kind of annoying. I practiced this to see where they'd fit. The lights on the ends of the rockets touch and normally stop them from docking, but if you wiggle it just right, bam, they join together. Very, very helpful. This is Eric, Kerbals, Thumgar, and Wilming, I think. Yep, perfect, very tight fits. And this is, of course, Chadberry, Bill, and Milbro transiting from the orbit of Duna's moon Ike to Duna. The next video you're about to see is me, once they've already arrived at Duna, me matching the alignment with of the mothership. Hopefully. I've got these sequences right, I think. Which actually was the hardest thing of all during my Duna expeditions, is actually matching up the alignments for dockings. Yeah, very irritating. Because quite often, of course, I didn't plan things right, and I'm not really sure how to do this to the point where they were all completely going in opposite directions. Here's the view of the stellar Duna star mothership from the Dwight. That's right, its name was Dwight. The Dwight lander matched its orbit and its inclination, and now we're going to dock. Yeah, so here we are. This is Chadberry, Bill, and Milbro. It's like the toolbag crew. Sorry, the names sound like so toolbaggy. Like douchebags. Yeah, they're gonna dock. I would have tried to dock all 3 of the landers back to the mothership and take them home, but they didn't have enough fuel. Very irritating. This maneuver gave me a bit of a fright, because when I switched back to from the capsule view to outside, I realized I was extremely close. But in fact, being closer before you go for the final docking is a lot better, so I might try and do this more often. Huh. So, 3, 2, 1, and this is the first ever time in this game that I've launched a lander from a mothership, landed on a planetary body, and then flown all the way back to the mothership. How cool is that? So what I did is I took all 3 Kerbals off, and that's Bill. I undocked that lander, the Dwight Ike lander, and now Bill is floating over back to the mothership, to Stella, its name is. So I decided to leave that lander in orbit of Duna, just because it was going to be, the whole ship was going to be unbalanced if I left it. So that's kind of cool. Maybe we'll visit that again one day soon. So now this ship's got 5 Kerbals ready to go back home. So that's really cool. And he's on it, and sorry for the brightness. It's because I still had the lights on the lander focused on the ship. Yeah, and we have 3/4 very panicked Kerbals. Yay! Hey everyone, so you'll notice that here we've got Duna is 75 degrees ahead of Kerman in its orbit. This is really important. I'll get to that in 1 second. The joys of post-commentary. Yeah, so as I was saying very quickly before, if you want to be, you can burn pretty much at any time, sort of, maybe-ish, but you want to try and burn when the planets are in the right alignment so that you use the least amount of fuel to get where you're going. And for a Duna to Kerman transit, you want to be about 75 degrees ahead of Kerman when you make your burn. So as you just saw, the 2 landers joined together, burned first, and then the mothership burned second because of the way the orbits are slightly different, and because as you can see here, I tweaked it a bit. The mothership's going to come in first when it arrives at Kerman, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so you're about to see that. So here's the Stella with 5 Kerbals, Ronlo, Dilmay, Chad Berry, Bill, and Milbro coming up on Kerman. I'm going to come in quite an eccentric orbit. What we need to do is we're going to try some aero braking for the first time in a long time to slow the ship down to create an orbit rather than be flying out. Hopefully we can do it. I was a bit worried. In fact, in the end we had to burn the engines as well to slow us down. So let's see that now. And in fact, I was really, really worried that we were going to slip into the atmosphere and the whole thing would crash and they would all die, but they didn't, thank God. Yay. Encounter there. If you can hear me because of the noise of the engines, just have a quick look at the amount of fuel I have left. Yeah. So yeah, I had to use up all the liquid fuel and had to resort to using RCS to desperately stop it from slipping into the atmosphere again and the orbit decaying to the point where they were going to die. And it took me a couple of minutes to realize that the orbit was entirely retrograde. Yay! Which makes it really annoying to try and get a ship to them to get them off the ship. But they're home. We're counting it. Oh, look, cinematic, isn't it pretty? Yay, mothership home. Woo! Oh, God, it was a headache. Stay tuned for the landers. Hey everyone, we're back. So, as you can see, we're about to have an encounter with Kerman. Here's the beginning of the encounter, and then the end is after it. Something that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of players of this game don't know, and it's really, really important, is under no circumstances should you be fast forwarding through the beginning, or time accelerating, through the beginning or end of an encounter. Because what will happen is that if you fast forward through, it takes some of that difference in your spacecraft speed and adds it to your course. So quite often when people start an encounter, or they go into before an encounter looking at their values of how close you're going to get to the planet or the celestial body, they'll look after, they'll time accelerate through, and then when they go to look after, the numbers will be different. And that's why it's a bug with the game. I'm not sure if the bug's going to be fixed in 0.23, possibly not. So yeah, under no circumstances time accelerate through the start or the end of an encounter to a celestial body, because it does screw up your numbers. I've done this a lot, and I've found that if you don't fast forward, if you fast forward right up to it and then start like 10 seconds, 20 seconds before and let the time clock over normally, then you don't get that problem and your numbers are always the same, which is what you really want because you plan your maneuver. So yeah, so do that, always do that. So we've separated these two landers, and they're going to come in a whopping 5 minutes apart, which is a bit scary, hence why I keep clicking forward and back to the map to make sure I'm not going to somehow kill Eric in the second lander while watching Kerbals long-grade warming in the first lander. So here's our big blue marble with the moon there on the left, and Minmus I never even saw because it was too far out. Coming in what looks like to be a polar landing. Yeah, so that's cool. Yep, so there's Eric's one and there's Kerbals one 5 minutes earlier. Game time, they came in 2 weeks after the mothership because of the minor alterations in the orbit. And as you can see, just like the mothership, we don't have a lot of fuel left, but we don't need it. We're coming in really low. We're going to get a lot of atmospheric drag, a lot of slowdown, a lot of friction, which is great. Here I am trying to turn the solar panels, drag the solar panels in when I'm still time accelerating, which obviously that doesn't work. Yes, once again, checking the map, making sure, and we're already down under 70,000, which means we're in the atmosphere, and we're slowing down. I was a little worried that we might still not slow down enough, and we might skip out again, and with this amount of fuel, yeah, we're going to come back. But thankfully, we decelerated an awful lot. You're about to see lots of flames. Yay. So these three, hopefully... Alright, I know. These three, they get back home. Yeah, so let's watch the flames, shall we? I always found this bit great. 3,800 meters per second re-entry. That's got to be cool. So I just attempted to deploy the parachutes and nothing's happened. So that's a worry, an extreme worry. Starting to panic. Here I am, about to manually deploy the parachutes because otherwise they're going to slam into the ocean and die. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they didn't deploy. I guess that might have been a bug, or it might have just been they were going too fast. I'm not sure. But yeah, the landing gear here is not going to help much if they hit the ground at 200 meters a second. So I have to deploy them manually. Yay, go team. Whee! Yeah. I do apologize for the background video quality. I'm still using a very poor video compressor. I'm not going to say the name. Alright, it's Windows Movie Maker. I'm sorry. Being cheap. I will get something better soon. But yeah, it seems to destroy a lot of quality in the video. We've still got giant pixels everywhere. Yeah, it's awful. Anyways. Okay, the parachutes are now open. That's always a good sign. I'm still checking to make sure I'm not going to accidentally miss Eric and have him hit the ground. Ooh, he's fine. And so the chute should fully open in about 500. So let's watch that now. Fantastic. That's what we want to see. After something like 585 game days, here come these guys back to their homeworld Kerman. How great is that? Landing in the water. Still checking on Eric. Eric is fine. Relax, Sheldon. Breathe, breathe. Yeah, so these 3 Kerbals landed on Duna. And now they're coming home. And now it's time for Eric's lander to come in for a landing. I did forget to mention, actually, and I reminded myself to do so. There is a website which lets you know when in your orbit to make a transfer between planets. I'll put the link in the description of this video. And I found out about this website from a movie by Wernher von Kerman. His Interplanetary Transfer YouTube video, which I've probably talked about before. Great movie, great, fantastic. Yeah, so I'll link that Interplanetary Transfer calculator website in the description of this video. And yay, the parachute's opened. Eric's not going to die, hopefully. As you may or may not be able to tell from the horrible pixelated video, Eric's going to be landing in the mountains, not in the ocean like the other guys. Yeah, go Eric. Eric is the same Kerbal which was the first of two rescue, in the first of 2 rescue ships sent to rescue the sand crew that's already landed from the moon. Unfortunately, his ship landed on the opposite side of the moon and he didn't get a chance to rescue them. Actually, I think it was Wilming who was in the other rescue ship. They rescued Kerbals, Thumgar, and John Moore, if I remember right. Yeah, so he gets to come home again. Oh, nearly tipped over. No, he's fine. Yay. And now here's Kerbals, Wilming, and Thumgar out of their lander in the ocean, going for a little swim. And a screenshot. And here's Eric coming down the ladder in his lander in the mountains. And another cinematic screenshot coming up now. Thank you everyone for watching. That's four of 9 Kerbals that went to Duna landed safely on the planet. The others are still in orbit and we'll get to them soon. Hopefully. Oh god, it's a retrograde orbit. A real pain to get to. Yeah, thanks for watching.